Advaita Gadadha Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are going to continue reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7. We are going to begin chapter 3 today. Yesterday we finished chapter 2. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday? What did we speak about yesterday?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
we read yesterday about the human body. Like, this is just a body; it's already dead. We must have to think about the soul and want to release our soul from the all material desire or material expectations. We must either we have many friends, many enemies, but nobody is going to save us when we need to have some like trouble. Only Krishna, only Vishnu, who can uh, give us strength to face any distress or any happiness. So we must have to realize this truth, whatever the count of friends and enemies, but there is this bodily relationship is just false. Our soul, spiritual soul, is a truth in this earth. So if we attach with Vishnu or Krishna, we can be get liberated from this material, uh, all material desire or concept. So we must have to be serious about these all things. And like earlier, we read about the Hiraṇyakša death, like they were all lamenting about his death. But we read also, like, when these all funeral ceremonies done, like all relatives and friends, they get to use with again engage with their material work. So this relationship is very false. The bodily concept of life is not true. Only the spiritual concept of life is true. Like spirit soul is uh, uh, what we say, like there is no uh, like um, this is the truth. Spirit soul is the truth of our life, and if we engage this spirit soul in the love and relationship with Krishna, we can get liberated and we can go to back to Godhead.
Thank you so much. We also read about Shamshan Vairagya, that how when somebody dies,
Yes.
then when we can hear this philosophy, we say, yes, it makes sense. Then soon we forget everything. We forget everything, and again we go back to normal daily activities. That's
Yeah,
called Shamshan Vairagya. We
I
also
forgot that term. Yeah.
then we also spoke. Question was raised that Hiraṇyakaśipu giving such great knowledge, right? Then how come he was so bad to his son? So he's giving knowledge, he's speaking philosophy, but he's not applying the philosophy. So we spoke the importance that we need to apply the philosophy. It's for us, you know.
Yes.
Hiranyakashipu is giving, oh, you do like this, you do like this, but he himself is not applying the philosophy on himself. So we were saying it's easier to tell others than for us to change ourselves.
Self, yes.
Whereas it's science of self-realization. So it's us, ourselves, we need to change. Okay. So we're gonna thank you so much. So we are gonna go on to chapter 3, Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal. So here there is a brief description by Srila Prabhupada of this chapter. This chapter describes how Hiranyakashipu performed a severe type of austerity for material benefit, thus causing great distress throughout the universe. Even Lord Brahma, the chief personality within this universe, became somewhat disturbed and personally went to see why Hiranyakashipu was engaged in such a severe austerity. Hiranyakashipu wanted to become immortal. He wanted not to be conquered by anyone, not to be attacked by old age and disease, and not to be harassed by any opponent. Thus, he wanted to become the absolute ruler of the entire universe. With this desire, he entered the valley of Mandara mountain and began practicing a severe type of austerity and meditation. Seeing Hiraṇyakaśipu engaged in this austerity, the demigods returned to their respective homes. But while Hiraṇyakaśipu was thus engaged, a kind of fire began blazing from his head, disturbing the entire universe and its inhabitants, including the birds, beasts, and demigods. When all the higher and lower planets became too hot to live on, the demigods, being disturbed, left their abodes in the higher planets and went to see Lord Brahma, praying to him that he curtail this necessary heat. The demigods disclosed to Lord Brahma Hiranyakashipu's ambition to become immortal, overcoming his short duration of life, and to be the master of all the planetary systems, even Dhruvalok. Upon hearing about the purpose of Hiranyakashipu's austere meditation, Lord Brahma, accompanied by the great sage Bhrigu and great personalities like Daksh, went to see Hiranyakashipu. He then sprinkled water from his Karmandalu in a type of water pot upon Hiranyakashipu's head. Hiranyakashipu, the king of the Daityas, bowed down before Lord Brahma, the creator of this universe, offering respectful obeisances again and again, and offering prayers. When Lord Brahma agreed to give him benedictions, he prayed not to be killed by any living entity, not to be killed in any place, covered or uncovered, not to die in the daytime or at night, not to be killed by any weapon on land or in the air, and not to be killed by any human being, animal, demigod, or any other entity, living or non-living. He further prayed for supremacy over the entire universe and requested the 8 yogic perfections, such as anima and lagima. So this was like a brief summary of the chapter. Now we are going to go in detail, text by text. So text 1, Sri Narada Vacha.
Shri Narada Uvacha
Hiraṇyakashipu Rajan.
Hiraṇyakaśipu Rajan
Ajayam Ajaramaram.
Ajayam Ajaramparam
Atmanam Apratidvandvam.
Atmanam Apratidvandam
Apratidvandam
Ekarajam Vyadhitsata.
Ekarajam
Rajam Vyadhi Sata.
Narad Muni said to Maharaj Yudhishthir, the demoniac king Hiranyakashipu wanted to be unconquerable and free from old age and dwindling of the body. He wanted to gain all the yogic perfections like anima and lagima, to be deathless, and to be the only king of the entire universe, including Brahmalok. So purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Such are the goals of the austerities performed by demons. Hiranyakashipu wanted to receive a benediction from Lord Brahma so that in the future he would be able to conquer Lord Brahma's abode. So we can see he's going through so much difficulty. Not easy to do the austerity that Hiranyakashipu did. But what he wanted to control this universe. He wanted to control Lord Brahma. We were hearing that how everything is under the control of the Supreme Lord. We were just hearing that he's telling all this to his nephews. But he doesn't want to apply it to himself, and he wants to be the controller. Similarly, another demon received a benediction from Lord Shiva, but later wanted to kill Lord Shiva through that same benediction. So this was that, forget the name, Rikasur, I think, that he did austerity. He wanted to please Lord Brahma. He was going to cut off his head in the fire. He wanted to please Lord Shiva. He was also going to cut his head and put in the fire. But Lord Shiva, of course, he said, oh my God, what is this foolish man doing? Let me see what he wants. He went, what do you want? I want that if I put my hand on someone's head, that person should die immediately. And Lord Shiva was like, oh my God. Okay, anyway, he gave him. Then he said, okay, now I want to test it on your head. He started running after Lord Shiva. He wanted to test. But then Lord Vishnu came. He came dressed as a Brahman or as a small boy. I can't remember. Anyway, Lord Vishnu said, and he started speaking very sweetly to this demon. Oh, where you're going? Well, what happened? He said, well, Lord Shiva gave me this boon. And he got very captivated by the speaking of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu was kind of putting him in illusion. So he said, where you're going? Oh, I want to test. I'm searching for Lord Shiva. He gave me this benediction that if I put my hand on someone's head, it's going to die. So I want to test it on Lord Shiva. Then Lord Vishnu says, oh, but don't you know that many times Lord Shiva just says things and his boons, they don't work. What you're saying, you can try it, it doesn't work. And this demon was so captivated, he actually put his hand on his own head and he died on the spot. So this is the demoniac nature. Demon got the benediction from Lord Shiva, but he wanted to kill Lord Shiva. Here, Hiraṇyakaśipu, he's doing austerity to please Lord Brahma, but he wants to conquer Lord Brahma. So thus self-interested persons by demoniac austerity want to kill even their benedictors, whereas the Vaishnava wants to remain an ever-existing servant of the Lord and never to occupy the post of the Lord. So what's the difference? Demon and Vaishnava? What's the difference we are trying to understand?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Like Vaishnav, they don't want to be immortal and don't want to rule on the earth. Like, no, not lust of this all material desire or everything. They just want to love Krishna or Vishnu and don't want to struggle with these all material existence. So just want to be a servant of Krishna like that. And demons, they want to be the Lord of Lord.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So through Sayujya Mukti, which is generally demanded by asuras, one merges into the existence of the Lord. But although one sometimes thus achieves the goal of the theory of monism, one falls down again to struggle in material existence. So the demon may enter the Brahmajyoti, the Brahman, but he will come back to the material world because not yet surrendered to Krishna. So we can see that Sayujya Mukti is not permanent position. Satepe mandaradronyam.
Satyate mandranyam
Tapa paramadarunam.
Tapaha
paramadar
paramadharunam
Urdhva bahur nabho drishti.
urdhva
garbhavu
bodrishi
nirvishti
Padan gushta shrita vani.
padangushta
padangushtashritavani.
shritavani.
In the valley of Mandar Hill, Hiraṇyakaśipu began performing his austerities by standing with his toes on the ground, keeping his arms upward, and looking toward the sky. This position was extremely difficult, but he accepted it as a means to attain perfection. So he was standing on his toes, Standing toes and hands up. How long can we stand like that for? And his head is also up, looking toward the sky. But he's undertaken this such a difficult task. Jata didhi Chata didhi
Jatadidhi
Samvartarka evam shubhe
Samvartarka evam shubhi
Rasmim tapastapyamane
Tasmin
tasmin tapastapashyamane
Devasthanani bhejire.
Deva
sthānāni bhejire.
From the hair on Hiranyakashipu's head, there emanated an effulgent light, as brilliant and intolerable as the rays of the sun at the time of dissolution. Seeing the performance of such austere penances, the demigods, who had been wandering throughout the planets, now returned to their respective homes. So there's this so much light is coming. When there's dissolution going to happen, it becomes really hot, very hot. And they can see this light coming from Hiranyakashipu's head. What happened? The demigods, Hiranyakashipu had told his people that you try to disrupt Brahmanical culture. And so the demigods are gonna not get their share of sacrifice. So they were not getting their share of sacrifice, so they had left their homes. Then when Hiranyakashipu started doing the austerity, they had gone back to their homes. But now they are seeing that this terrible light is coming from his head. Tasya murthna samudbhuta
Tasya
Samudhuta
sadhumogni stapomaya
Muhi
tiryag urdhvam adholokan
Tirya Adloka
pratatapat visvag erita.
Pratapdvishvagirita.
Because of Hiranyakashipu's severe austerities, fire came from his head, and this fire and its smoke spread throughout the sky, encompassing the upper and lower planets, which all became extremely hot. So the light came, then now it's fire, so hot, and there is smoke also. And it's going everywhere, upper and lower planets. When there's fire, it spreads, the heat spreads, the smoke spreads. So, but this fire is spreading to such a great degree, so we can try to understand that it is in different planets. It's going into the different planets. Chukshubhur Nadi Udan Vanta
Udarvanta
Sadvipadris Chachalabhu
Chachalapu
Nipetus Sagrahastara
Nipetu Shagrahastara
Jajvalus Cha Disho Dasha.
Disho Dasha.
Because of the power of his severe austerities, all the rivers and oceans were agitated. The surface of the globe with its mountains and islands began trembling, and the stars and planets fell. All directions were ablaze. So the fire was spreading. There was so much disturbance happening everywhere. Tena tapta divam tyaktva
Tena Tapta
Brahmalokam yayusura
Brahmalokam Yayusura
Dhatre vigya payam asur
Dhatre Vidyapayam Ashur
Deva Deva Jagatpate
Deva Deva Jagatpate.
Daityendra tapasa tapta.
Daityendra
tapasa
Tapasa.
Divi sthatum na shaknuma.
Divi
Sthatum na Saktinuma.
Scorched and extremely disturbed because of Hiraṇyakashipu's severe penances. All the demigods left the planets where they reside and went to the planet of Lord Brahma, where they informed the Creator as follows: O Lord of the demigods, O Master of the universe, because of the fire emanating from Hiraṇyakashipu's head, as a result of his severe austerities, we have become so disturbed that we could not stay in our planets, but have come to you. So Hiraṇyakashipu is doing the penance. Because of that, he's become so powerful. Fire is coming from him, disturbing the demigods. Demigods have gone to Brahma, explaining the situation to him. Tasya chopa shamam bhuman.
Tasya chopashamam bhuman.
Videhi yadi manyase.
Videhi yadi manyase.
Lokana yavan nakshyanti.
Lokana yavan nanshanti.
Bali harastava bhibhu.
Bali harastava vipu.
O great person, chief of the universe, if you think it proper, kindly stop these disturbances meant to destroy everything before all your obedient subjects are annihilated. So they are saying, if you think proper, they're not forcing him. They're saying, you consider it. Tasyayam kila sankalpash.
Tasyayam kila sankalpa.
Charato dushcharam tapa.
Charato dushcharam tapa.
Shruyatam kimna viditas.
Shruyatam
Kim
kimna
Shiva.
viditas.
Tavathapi niveditam.
Tava.
Tavatapi
Nivedita.
niveditam.
Hiranyakashipu has undertaken a most severe type of austerity. Although his plan is not unknown to you, kindly listen as we submit his intentions. They're like, you know everything, but still we want to say. It happens, right? Sometimes we know the other person knows the situation, but we are so affected by it that we want to speak. We just want to speak out. Shishtva characharam idam.
Ishva characharam idam.
Tapo yoga samadhina.
Tapo Yoga
Samadhina.
Samadhina.
Adhyaste sarvadhishnebhya.
Adhyaste
Adhyaste Sarve
sarvadeshnayebhya.
Visnethya.
Parameshti parameshti nijasanam.
Parame
Parameshti
Shri Nijasanam.
Tad aham vardhamanena.
Tat
tat
aham
aham
Vardhamanena.
vardhamanena.
Tapo yoga samadhina.
Tapo Yoga Samadhina.
Samadhina.
Kalat manoscha nityatvat.
Kala Manoscha Nityatva.
Sadhiyishye tathatmana.
Sadhyeshe
Yeshe
Tatamana.
tatamana.
The Supreme Person within this universe, Lord Brahma, has gotten his exalted post by dint of severe austerities, mystic power, and trance. Consequently, after creating the universe, he has become the most worshipable demigod within it. Since I am eternal and time is eternal, I shall endeavor for such austerity mystic power and trance for many, many births, and thus I shall occupy the same post occupied by Lord Brahma. Hiraṇyakashipu's determination was to occupy the post of Lord Brahma, but this was impossible because Brahma has a long duration of life, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 8:17. Sahasra yuga paryantam aharyad brahmano vidu. 1,000 yugas equals 1 day of Brahma. The duration of Brahma's life is extremely great, and consequently, it was impossible for Hiraṇyakashipu to occupy that post. Nonetheless, his decision was that since the self, Atma, and time are both eternal, if he could not occupy that post in one lifetime, he would continue to execute austerities life after life, so that sometime he would be able to do so. So he's praying to Brahma to become Brahma. Now he understands Lord Brahma lives very long. So, Hiraṇyakashipu may not be able to do it in one life. But he also understands that the soul is eternal. Soul never dies. And he understands time is also eternal. That he has eternity to engage in austerity. He has no time limit. He can go on. And his gross body might keep changing, but he can still do his austerity life after life. So this is what he's thinking. Anyatedam vidhasyeham.
Anyatetam vidasyeham.
Ayatha purvam ojasa.
Aryata purvam ojasa.
Kim anye kala nirdhute.
Kim anye kala nirdhute.
Kalpante Vaishnavadibi.
Kalpante Vaishnavadibi.
By dint of my severe austerities, I shall reverse the results of pious and impious activities. I shall overturn all the established practices within this world. Even Dhruva Lok will be vanquished at the end of the millennium. Therefore, what is the use of it? I shall prefer to remain in the position of Brahma. So the demigods are telling this to Brahma, that, oh, Hiraṇyakashipu is thinking all these things. Hiraṇyakashipu's demoniac determination was explained to Lord Brahma by the demigods, who informed him that Hiraṇyakashipu wanted to overturn all the established principles. After executing severe austerities, people within this material world are promoted to the heavenly planets, but Hiraṇyakashipu wanted them to be unhappy, suffering, because of the diplomatic feelings of the demigods, even in the heavenly planets. He wanted those who are harassed in this world by material transactions to be unhappy for the same reason, even in the heavenly planets. Indeed, he wanted to introduce such harassment everywhere. One might ask how this would be possible, since the universal order has been established since time immemorial. But Hiraṇyakashipu was proud to declare that he would be able to do everything by the power of his tapasya. He even wanted to make the Vaishnava's position insecure. These are some of the symptoms of asuric determination. So Hiraṇyakashipu is saying that, well, Brahma, he did a lot of austerity. Lord Brahma did austerity, penances for a long time, and then he can control the universe. So Hiraṇyakashipu is thinking the same. He's saying, I'm going to do a lot of austerity. I'll do a lot of penance, and then I will control the universe. And I will rule it in a way that I want to rule. And I want to rule in a way that there is disturbance everywhere. Lord Brahma is he's trying to maintain peace and prosperity everywhere. He's trying to maintain a law and order everywhere. Whereas Hiraṇyakashipu wants to disrupt all the law and order. He wants to create fear and suffering for everyone. So we can see his mentality. Iti
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So, who he was praying to? Hiraṇyakashipu. Any particular God, demigod?
Till
Is it
now,
to
we don't
Brahma?
know. Yeah, till now, he's doing austerity because he wants to become Brahma. Till now, we have not heard that he's specifically trying to please Lord Brahma. But generally, we do hear that he was doing austerity, and he was trying to become the position of Lord Brahma. So, since he wants to take up the position of Lord Brahma, so probably, you mean to say, who is he asking this benediction from, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
is he just thinking, that I'll do austerity and by myself I will become so powerful?
He wants to be immortal, huh?
Yeah, he wants to be immortal. So is it that he's thinking, I'll just do this and by my own power I will become immortal? Is it that?
Yeah.
Then that means like how we think, right? That, oh, I'm going to do certain things and I'm going to become God. I'll do this and I'll become, because that's what he wants to become. He wants to become the controller of everyone. So yeah, maybe he's just thinking, oh, I'm gonna become, my austerity is gonna give me so much power, and that I will become, with my own strength, I'm gonna become like Lord Brahma.
Mm.
Yeah, could be, because it didn't clearly say here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's why, because normally, right, when you do an austerity or something, you're praying to someone, right? Like you are doing
Yeah.
that to some
So,
demigod.
I think he is praying to Lord Shiva. Hiraṇyakaśipu is praying to Lord Shiva to get everything as Brahma. Like he want to be a like immortal, and he want to be Brahma. Want to take place
But
of Brahma.
it doesn't say here
Yeah,
that
it
he's
doesn't say
praying to
here,
Lord
but in
Shiva.
like ancient story, when you search, like we read from some uh, like ancestors, they told us like he prayed to Lord Shiva, and he asked to give benediction, like nobody can kill him, in no day, no
But
night,
then Lord
no.
Shiva should have come. But Lord Shiva doesn't come. It's Lord Brahma who's coming to give him the benediction.
Mm, yes.
You see,
No mention
when
of Lord
somebody is
Shiva.
praying, yeah, when somebody is praying to Lord Shiva, like this
Mhm.
Vrikasur was praying to Lord Shiva, so Lord Shiva came, right?
Mm,
So,
yes.
but Lord Brahma comes to give this
Mm,
benediction to Hiraṇyakaśipu. Okay, let's
mm.
read on and see.
Okay, maybe we can get see.
Mm.
Okay.
Iti Shushruma Nirbandham
Iti
Iti
Shushruma Nirbandham
Nirvana
Tapa Paramam Astita
Tapa
Tapa Paramam
Astita
Astita
Vidatsvanantaram Yuktam
Vidatsvanantaram
Vitaswaranantaram Yuktam
Swayam Bhuvaneshwara.
Swayam
Swayam Tribhuvaneshwara.
O Lord, we have heard from reliable sources that in order to obtain your post, Hiraṇyakashipu is now engaged in severe austerity. You are the master of the three worlds. Please, without delay, take whatever steps you deem appropriate. In the material world, a servant is provided for by the master, but is always planning how to capture the master's post. There have been many instances of this in history, especially in India. During the Mohammedan rule, many servants, by plans and devices, took over the posts of their masters. It is learned from Chaitanya literature that one big zamindar, Subudhi Rai, kept a Mohammedan boy as a servant. Of course, he treated the boy as his own child, and sometimes when the boy would steal something, the master would chastise him by striking him with a cane. There was a mark on the boy's back from this chastisement. Later, after that boy had by crooked means become Hussein Shah, Nawab of Bengal, one day his wife saw the mark on his back and inquired about it. The Nawab replied that in his childhood he had been a servant of Subudhi Rai, who had punished him because of some mischievous activities. Upon hearing this, the Nawab's wife immediately became agitated and requested her husband to kill Subudhi Rai. Nawab Hussain Shah, of course, was very grateful to Subudhi Rai and therefore refused to kill him. But when his wife requested him to turn Subudhi Rai into a Mohammedan, the Nawab agreed. Taking some water from his water pot, he sprinkled it upon Subudhi Rai and declared that Subudhi Rai had now become a Mohammedan. The point is that this Nawab had been an ordinary menial servant of Subudhi Rai, but was somehow or the other able to occupy the supreme post of Nawab of Bengal. So Prabhupada is saying, in this material world, that's what we are trying to do. Hiraṇyakaśipu, instead of following the orders of Lord Brahma, wants to become Lord Brahma. So he's giving us this story from Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya's Leela. There is this Subudhi Rai. He had a servant, and the servant later becomes the Nawab of Bengal, Nawab Hussain Shah. And because Subudhi Rai had hit this small boy because he had stolen, so the wife wants to kill Subudhi Rai. But of course, now the Nawab feels, no, I can't kill him, but okay, turn him into Mohammedan. So sprinkle some water, turn to Mohammedan. So Prabhupada is saying this boy was a servant, but somehow or the other he's become the Nawab of Bengal. So this is the material world. Everyone is trying to become master through various devices, although everyone is servant of his senses. So the law of the material world is like that. We all want to become master. We want to be the ruler. Why should I listen to someone? I should be doing what I want to do. But what are we doing? We are becoming servant of our senses, servant of our mind. Following the system, a living entity, although servant of his senses, tries to become master of the whole universe. So we can't control our senses. And yet we are trying to control everyone else around us. That, oh, you should not do this, you should do like that, why you're behaving like this. But ourselves, we are not able to control our senses. Like how Hiraṇyakaśipu was telling his nephews, oh, don't lament, you give up, lamentation, this, that. Everything is in the control of the Supreme Lord, but he himself is not able to follow it. So he wants to control the whole universe, Hiraṇyakaśipu, but he's not able to control his own senses. So we are doing like that. We are saying, oh, why is this one doing like this? This one should act in this way. This one should act. But we are not able to control our own senses. Hiraṇyakaśipu was a typical example of this, and Brahma was informed by the demigods of his intentions. Did you all want to add anything?
Yeah, I think Brahma, he is praying to Brahma, like we can. Yeah.
That's what usually they say when we say this story.
Yes, because somehow it is related. Like, because Lord Brahma, Hiraṇyakaśipu, however, was such a great demon that maintained his ambition. Yeah. So I think he is praying to Lord Brahma.
Okay. Okay. So let's stop here for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.